Hey guys, welcome back to our video series, How Do I? Again, if you're anything like me, almost every single one of your searches on Google, on YouTube, on Bing, if you're 65 or older, start with this phrase, how do I? I remember the first time I was trying to figure out how do I clean out my dryer vents, and I was just like inundated with videos of all this stuff out there. But not only when it comes to some of our house projects, but when it comes to the state of our relationship with God and growing with Him, there's a lot of questions that we have. When you become a Christian or you're trying to grow in your faith, even when you get the Bible, you don't know exactly how to read it, you don't know what to do with it, you're not sure how do you start doing all these things, and so you have a lot of questions. And that's really normal. That's why we've started this video series, to be able to answer those questions. How do I? And here's today's question. How do I have a better prayer life? Or maybe you need to ask this question, how do I pray in general? Awesome question. One that, again, I have asked many times in my life. Even though I'm a pastor, I don't think I am great praying. I don't think I'm a great prayer. And I can't even say the word prayer right. I just say prayer. I'm not great at it. I have to force myself to do it. Now, the more I've done it and the more I've been intentional about doing it, the better I've gotten at it. So here's a few of my tips, the things that I have been through in my life to get better at praying and to have a better prayer life. Now, the first one is to realize what prayer is. And I think the thing that gets nervous is that people are like, am I casting spells? Like, am I speaking things into existence? Like, we get nervous about it. Like, when we read the Bible, even though there can be a tension there, I think there's some like comfort that we're reading what's already written. And when we sing worship songs, like, there's a little bit of comfort because we're just singing what somebody else wrote. But when it comes to prayer, that's us. That's our thoughts and our feelings. And I think most people are like, what if it's stupid? What if it's wrong? And what if it is? Oh, well. Have you never been in a stupid conversation in your life? Have you never flubbed a word? Have you ever said something that you regretted later? And did all of your relationships end because of it? Did the world end because of it? Of course not. So don't think so strongly, or don't think so terrifyingly about prayer. Think about this. You're having an intimate, honest conversation with your Father. Jesus revealed Himself not only as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, but as a brother to those in faith. And God the Father was revealed in that way as a father. Now, you might have had a father that was very judgmental, a father that never really talked with you. And it might be hard to think about prayer as talking to a father because you're like, I don't like talking to a father, or I have no experience in that. I'm really sorry if that's the case. Because God is a very loving, understanding Father. And He already knows what's going on with you. But He still wants to hear it from you. He wants you to have an intimate and honest conversation with your Father. Hopefully that seems a little less intimidating. So once we have the right mindset, what are some practical things we can do to get better at praying? Well, number one, I think we have to start with the Lord's Prayer. You've heard this. Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the glory, the kingdom, and the power. Amen and amen. That last part's actually not in the scriptures. It's in the Catholic scriptures. But if you see at the link below, there's a PDF for this Lord's Prayer. We call it the Disciples' Prayer because it's actually how Jesus taught His followers to pray. It's not exactly how He would pray because it talks about being forgiven for sins, and Jesus never sinned. And what you see is we've broken that up into various days and helped you to expand that. It's probably something that can be easily in our brains, and that's giving us a guide to be able to pray over and over again. Here's another big thing for me. How do I get better at praying? I made a list of all the things that were important to me, and I assigned them to different days to make sure that I prayed for those things every single week. Now, maybe your list is short and you can pray for it every single day. Maybe your list is long and you need to spread it out over 2 weeks. That's not exactly the point. The week is not the magic rotation. But it was that things were important to me, and so instead of being like, well, if they were important to me, I'd remember them. Like, no. For me, if they're important, I write them down so that I don't forget them. I actually have it on my to-do list, an app on my phone on my to-do list, and it reoccurs, my Monday list, my Tuesday list, etc., reoccurs every single day of that week, reminding me what to pray for. Because it's so important, I didn't want to forget it. Now, the other thing is, don't wait to pray. Don't wait until you're like, okay, everybody's quiet. I've got the music right. It's 72 degrees instead of 73 degrees. The dog is not barking. My stomach is not growling. I can finally reach the right place of spiritual intensity to pray. Now, just pray. The dog's always going to bark. The bird's always going to be chirping. There's always going to be a garbage truck going by. Somebody's always going to be knocking on your door. Don't wait. Pray right then. You see somebody on Facebook or Instagram asking for prayer and you're like, I'll be praying for that. No, pray for it before you even make a comment. Don't even make a comment until you've actually prayed for it. Pray quickly. Pray immediately. Don't wait. Build up the yes in prayer. Because here's my next one. Pray out loud. Now, for those of you who did not just immediately close your browser window, thank you so much for staying with us. But praying out loud changes something. I don't understand it. I mean, I could get into the science of voice and declaration and all that kind of stuff, but these are only supposed to be like 6-minute videos. Pray out loud. Start when you're on your own. Start when there's nobody listening and pray out loud. And feel what that does to your spirit. Feel how it changes things for you. And here's the last one. Make part of your prayer time listening. We spend so much of our prayer time giving lists to God and telling Him what's going on and what we need. And I'm not saying we shouldn't do that. But make sure you include part of your time to sit there, to try to listen, to try to be quiet, and to say, God, what do you want to speak to me? So that's my advice on how do I pray better or even start praying. Hey, 2 things before you go if you can help us out. Number 1, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our other content. And the second thing is, man, leave a comment below if you have any how do I questions when it comes to Christianity and spirituality. We'd love to know what that is so it can help us shape our future videos. Thank you so much.